In order to date others conveniently, the wife often chooses to go out in this way. However, what she didn't know was that her husband had already discovered her behavior. It was just that without sufficient evidence, the husband chose to remain silent. Subsequently, he quietly found a private detective and began to collect evidence against his wife. Her behavior was photographed by the detective not long after. But when Amy went to Carl's home for a date, she witnessed an extremely sad scene. She saw Carl being extremely intimate with another young girl. They were like lovers in deep affection. At this moment, Amy couldn't care less about the cold rain falling on her. She followed their figures all the way, finally found that the two were hiding in a corner of the library. Seeing their intimate actions, Amy felt very upset. Angrily, she rushed up to demand an explanation, but in the end, Amy was pulled back to the apartment by Carl. The two also had a big fight because of this matter. Just as Amy was about to leave the apartment, Carl pressed her against the wall. Facing Carl's beast-like passion, Amy, who had no resistance, compromised again. On the subway back, Amy recalled the time she spent with Carl. Suddenly, a hard-to-describe joy surged in her heart, but when she thought of her loving husband and son at home, her heart was filled with guilt and self-blame. On the other hand, the private detective handed the photos to the husband. The moment he saw the photos, the husband's heart was broken. He never expected that his beloved wife would betray him. The husband felt very lost. He didn't know how to face his wife and his future life. Finally, the dispirited husband came to Carl's building, but he didn't have the courage to go upstairs. However, in order to win back his wife and give his son a complete family, the husband decided to have a talk with Carl. When he told the other party that she was Amy's husband, Carl didn't show the slightest nervousness. Instead, he politely invited him into the room and poured him a cup of tea, as if entertaining a guest. But at this moment, Carl still didn't realize that danger was slowly approaching him.